Greetings, Warlords. Welcome to Saga Thursday, the show all about the skirmish miniatures game from Studio Tomahawk. I'm your host, Rodge. Today, we're talking with Josh and doing something a little different. We're talking about Saga Leagues, and Josh has volunteered to come on it and talk to us about that. And I guess, are you the person actually running the league that in Houston there?
Yeah, hey Rodge, I'm running the league, and so it's been a lot of fun just kind of trying to rebuild the community a little bit.
Okay. So yeah, I think you've kind of taken over for Russell Helms. Is that
Yes,
right?
yeah, Russ is a legend. Did a ton for the community here. We had an amazing community pre-COVID, and of course, it just kind of dropped off with COVID, and so he did a ton just to build the community. And yeah, so just rebuilding a little bit, and just launched our first post-COVID league in the spring.
Yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, Russell definitely a legend in the saga, leading the
Absolutely,
World Cup team USA,
yeah,
and with some folks over there and sealing the deal for U.S. victory. Unfortunately, with the COVID stuff, the World Cup kind of fizzled for a bit, and that's too bad. It looked like it was going to be happening down there in Texas, and that
yeah.
would
I
have
was super bummed. I was really hyped for that.
that
So,
would have been awesome.
but
But
it
yep,
happens.
that's the way it works out. But glad to see that there's Saga still going down there. So I mean, if you were around back then, you've been playing in all the leagues back then, and been playing Saga a while.
I caught the last league like in 2018, 2019 timeframe. I got into Saga kind of independently. I was in Houston. I didn't know there was an amazing community here. Got into Saga and then just somehow stumbled upon the Facebook group the Russell built and got plugged in like 2018. We had an Age of Crusades league that was awesome. Like probably 30 members, two teams, like team based attacking on a map. It was legendary.
Yeah, that
And so that's
sounds totally insane. Like, I would
Oh, it was
love
so
to
cool.
be like a part of that,
Oh
with
yeah.
regular games going.
A- And Russell Helms just led it so masterfully, just so well organized, so well communicated. It was incredible.
So at some point, though, he kind of stepped out. I guess I don't really know the background on that, or if there's any particular reason.
Yeah.
I'm
He's just
sure
gotten really
life.
busy. So I pinged him
Hmm.
this spring, which is, hey, you want to organize something unless you want to organize anything, and he just said go for it. So been hitting up a lot of the OGs from back in the day, and it was kind of short notice for this first league. So we've got 12 members, which I think is a solid start. We just finished our league, and we're going to be doing kind of a end of league summer tournament to declare a champion, and in the fall we'll launch again and hopefully build it up even more. So it's kind of where we're at right now.
Awesome, that's cool. So you kind of pinged Russ, see if he would do it. He said, gave you the go ahead. So um, the way that this league works, and we can kind of look. I've got the round six results kind of up here. So we got the names, the factions, league points earned, points differential, warlords killed. So that last one, I get that one. I get what's going on with the number of
Mm-hmm.
warlords killed. But so how exactly does it work with these points, and what is the differential?
Yeah, so I kind of copied the UK Grand Melee, which Snorp from the Saga Thursday Discord ran a virtual tabletop simulator league, which I was in, and that was awesome. And so
Oh,
I
you were
basically just copied
cool.
that. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I'm Bjorn in the Discord, so I was in the US group obviously on that, and that was great fun. I ended up just taking that and then taking Russell's last tournament and like combining them for like more of like an in-person experience, but with the same scenarios, roughly the same scoring. The things that I've changed, I mean, it's basically standard stuff with wins, losses, draws, right? Um, I also put in like a little incentive for posting battle reports to try to like build the community and communicate about the games, where
Yeah.
you get some fractional points for that. And then the points differential and the warlords killed are like tiebreakers in case you have the same number of league points.
Okay. So what is that number point? How's it? Is that just
So I'd have to go back and look at the rules. I think it's 3 points for a win, 2 points for a draw, 1 point for a loss. You get a half point if you or your opponent posts a battle report in our Facebook group. And then, the point differential is like based on your massacre points or survival points,
Oh,
how many what was your margin of victory? And so
okay.
that accumulates over time.
So that
So like if we both have 15 points, but I am slaughtering people and you're not, then I'm ahead of you in the rankings based on that differential.
cool. That makes sense. Yeah. So the guys on the upper half here have positive points differentials. Jonathan Penn here leading the bottom, negative 112, but he's not on the bottom for the win draw loss stuff. So good to see.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of essentially, so that kind of win draw loss scoring is similar to tournaments and stuff like that. So
Exactly.
it's kind of like a tournament. You kind of mentioned that the tabletop simulator league was like a tournament just drawn out over a
Yes.
long time frame.
Absolutely.
So is
Right.
the matchups like kind of like Swiss pairings
Yeah,
type stuff, like a
it's been
tournament,
Swiss
or
pairings. It's been Swiss pairings, but with a little bit of leeway in case you've played them before, right? Really, this first league is, hey, let's just throw dice. And so we're doing Swiss pairings, but if someone's played an opponent before, that's no fun, right? In 6 rounds. And so, but yeah, it's basically a tournament played over 6 week or 6 seasons of 2 weeks each. And then we'll have a tournament at the end, probably like 2 or 3 rounds over a day, where the top players will be seated better than the lower players, and then we'll crown a champion from that.
okay, cool. So
Yeah,
whoever wins this final tournament would be the winner of the
correct.
league essentially. So
Yep,
the bigger the current top dogs get a kind of an easier run then. So like
exactly.
Mike would be paired up against Jimmy, probably. The
Yep,
first versus the
something like
last.
that. Yeah,
Okay, well that's really cool. That's a great idea because Jimmy, he could still win it all. On
right.
that
Yeah,
last day if he has a good run, and yeah, I like the sound of that because when you think of a league, you might, I don't know, I guess I think more of along the lines of a campaign, and that's kind of what
hmm
ongoing things, I've done in the past and what people have been interested
right.
in. But it's tough because in a campaign, the more you win, like the more benefits you should get or whatever. But then,
Yes,
it's like,
right.
well, what do we, what do we, after a couple of weeks or whatever, if I'm
Oh yeah,
already winning games and I'm really good, and I'm getting more benefits, it's like, what's
oh
the
yeah.
point?
You're just untouchable.
So I like this kind of alternate way of doing it, a league, just kind of
Yeah.
tournament style.
Well,
And
and the hope is like that this will be an informal way for people to get back into the game, right? We're doing Age of Melee, so just whatever army you've already got, just bring it.
mm-hmm,
I think for the fall we'll do another league and it'll be more like a campaign. But what I like about this one is one, it was easy to organize, right? It's easy for people to jump in on. Um, and also it makes like the regular seasons important. Like you want to play each game, you want to win because it gives you a better position for the tournament. But at the end of the day, like anyone can still win, So I think it keeps that kind of interest level high, hopefully,
yes.
for that tournament as well.
Yeah. And it kind of, I would imagine you probably, I think, did you mention like 2 week intervals between
Yeah, yeah,
rounds? And then, so you are specifically matched up and you have to kind of figure out a
correct.
time with your guy. So were you guys already like meeting as a group, or are these more
It
just
was
like
more
individual?
informal. It was like we'd have a couple players show up on a Saturday at a gaming shop and we'd play some games together. So there were meetups happening, but it wasn't as organized.
Have you found that this kind of improved attendance, or seeing faces more
Yeah,
over this time?
absolutely. I mean, I think it forces you to play games. Everyone wants to play games, but just it's easy to let it slip. It's hard to organize, especially in a city as big as Houston, where it's like the next person near you is like 45 minutes to an hour away. It just forces you to play games, and then people started playing pickup games on Saturdays, and just hey, let's practice the next league scenario together. And so I have found that it seems like we've gotten a lot better just engagement. I'd say we still have a long way to go, and I'm really excited about the fall and excited about this tournament in the summer and the fall, to do a more organized league and just see how much we can grow this thing.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I would think, some people just kind of need that extra little push to get out there. So if you're on the hook
Right.
to, and maybe you can explain to your spouse, you're willing to step up.
Right.
Hey,
I
I
got to
need
get my
this.
game
They're
in.
they're counting on
Yep.
me to
Yep.
get out there. So I'm sorry, I got to go this week. I got to get
100%.
that game in. Um,
Yep.
did you have any issues with? So what happens? Did anybody not get their game in, or how would that work then?
Yeah,
If
I
it
mean, inevitably you're gonna have some games that fall through. The way we structured it was basically if one player is making a good faith effort to schedule and the other is just unavailable or not making much effort, then we chalk it up as a win for the person that's trying. If neither player, if it was a mutual thing where their schedules don't mesh, they get a draw.
okay, and so were there a couple of those mixed in here, or did you have
Yeah,
a
there
good
were a
good run,
couple.
good luck?
Um, we had a pretty good engagement, but there were a couple of games where it just didn't happen. Someone was traveling for 2 weeks or
Hmm.
work got crazy, stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's definitely a fair way to do it. And you could see, so yours is kind of doing a league like at the Swiss pairings. So you do need those like kind of results sort of
Yep,
to move on and do the pairings
absolutely.
for the next round. But you could do, if you're doing like a round robin style, if you just have six people, and you just say, you're going to play everybody once over the course of six
Hmm.
rounds, or even if you have a bigger group of players, you could just set those pairings up from the start. It's just kind of locked in. These are the six random people you're playing, and then
Yep.
if you did it that way, you could, if you did miss that 2 week mark, then they can still catch up at some point, and you just pop those results in.
That's true. I hadn't
If
thought
you did
about
it
that.
that way. Yeah, but no, I kind of like there's pros and cons to either. So I do like that Swiss pairings approach that you're taking here. So we got to round 6. So we're recording this at the third or fourth week of June. Is when is the tournament set
Yeah,
for
so
the
we actually
finale?
just ended. We the tournament. Sorry, yeah, we just ended the last week of play. Tournament we're still nailing down. It'll probably be end of June or early August. So we're doing a poll right now just to see what's the best availability for a all day Saturday event. And we'll just schedule that accordingly to what the votes are.
Okay, cool. Now, and maybe I didn't really understand before. So, will the tournament points be like basically like 3 additional league games, and then it's the total will be the victor, or
It'll
is
be
it
winner takes all for the
just the
tournament.
tournament itself?
Yeah, it'll
Run.
be just the tournament itself, winner takes all, with that kind of beneficial seeding for the people that performed well during the league.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, you could see,
Yeah.
you could do it either way. Whoever's running it, but
Right.
I see Mike. He's up to 20 points now. So
Oh yeah,
if you were
he's untouchable.
doing 3 league games or something, he's got to lose 2, and the next guy wins 3 to right, bigger, so.
Right.
But yeah, I like the way you don't want a foregone conclusion because like, well,
Right.
why is anybody going to
Absolutely.
show up to the
Yeah.
finale?
Why
And
show up?
you
Exactly.
don't want that for your finale.
I
So
think there's also a different skill set. When it's one game every 2 weeks and you've got 2 weeks to think about the scenario and your opponent, there's a much different skill set for that than you have 5 minutes between rounds, 10 minutes between rounds. You just found out your opponent and the scenario, and it's much more on the fly. So I think that can benefit players differently as well.
sure. So I'm assuming your faction is locked in, but your
Yes.
army list is not locked in. Is that how you're doing it?
Correct. Yep.
So you could take different Levy, Hearthguard, Warrior combinations, different
Yep.
equipment. So that's kind of cool. So you can be like, Fred, you played Danny last. What was he doing with his span? Yeah, you could try to
Right.
get some good natured
Get some
intel
intelligence.
and
Yep.
scuttlebutt on the
Absolutely.
players, or you go over and observe that game.
Yep.
See how it's
100%.
going. So I like the sound of that. So I like everything you're going. That 12 guys in a league is awesome. I know, it was just insane in the past, but I think 12 is pretty good. And any city, anywhere in the world would be happy to have a 12-man league going. So,
Yeah,
congrats on having everybody stick to it. Hopefully the event goes well. But let's
yeah, thank you.
talk a little bit just about your results here. I see you're number 2 up there running the Sassanids. You feeling
Yeah,
pretty good in an all comers
I mean,
environment with those guys?
for me, I'm like, I can't win anything. Obviously, I'm participating because I just
Well,
want to
yeah.
play Saga, but I'm like ruled out from any winnings or anything, so I can be unbiased. But it's been fun just playing games. I've been obsessed with Assassinates for like 3 years. I started building an army before I even knew they were going to be in the Saga Age of Invasions book. I loved the Aventine miniatures and I loved the history of them. So I've been obsessed with them for a while, and I was like, well, let's just play them for this league. I thought about some of the Age of Alexander stuff because that's just so new and cool. But it's been a lot of fun. I think that faction is very interesting to play. I think they've got some strengths and some definite weaknesses. But it's been really fun. And it's been interesting too. We're doing Age of Melee, so like I'm playing against like Irish and like Persians and all kinds of different armies, and it's just really interesting how those combine. And sometimes they mesh well. Sometimes like, wow, this is a weird matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you've got everything. So Vikings, invasions,
We do, yeah.
crusades, and just a little bit of every book.
I think everything except Magic and maybe Hannibal. I don't know if we have any. No, we have Gauls.
Gauls are
We have
in there,
Gauls.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
guys
So we got everything.
got it
Wow,
all covered.
great.
Looks like people just picked whatever they wanted to work on. So is Mike um, just shooting everybody off the board, or
Oh man,
what's the
he's yeah,
secret sauce
he's
there? Do
good.
you know?
Yeah. One, he's an incredible player. Right? He's uh very solid. Like he doesn't make mistakes. And then that Persian board is just even with the nerf, it's a tough board.
Oh, definitely,
And
yeah.
I think he's been a tough out. I mean, even before the league, whenever I get a victory over Mike, I'm just thrilled because he's a tough out.
That's
He's really
awesome.
good.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
a lot of different equipment options and ways to run it too. I think so. He can change
Yeah.
things up and has fun as he picks everybody apart. So
Oh
um,
yeah.
awesome.
It's a tough board.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, just chatting about everything. I was really curious how everything worked here, and I like having the differential, the warlords killed. So even if you don't win or you can't win or whatever, I see you're up 90 here, so it's like a
Yeah.
moral victory, and
Moral victory. There you
uh,
go. Yeah.
you know you could see how if you had a few more categories here, somebody you could have 4 or 5 different kind of winners of different categories or
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
We could split out massacre, survival, or objectives captured or something like that. So that could be
Right. That'd
something
be cool.
else
Yeah.
somebody could do. Just add it's a little more paperwork, but that
Yeah.
way, somebody, I completely lost all my games. I got killed every time, but I've captured the most objectives over the course of the
Right.
event. And in the last game, I'm not even trying to win. I'm just trying to capture an objective or
Oh yeah.
something. Even if it
That'd be
makes
cool
no
actually.
sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you could see the potential there for additional categories like that. And
Yeah. That's a
so,
good
how do
point.
they report the stuff? They just email it to you? Is that
We have a we have a Facebook group. It's actually the one that Russell Helms made, and so we've got like 150, 200 members in there. It's great. That's part of why I want to do battle reports is get everyone in that group seeing Saga being played again. It's kind of an announcement. Hey, we're back. Saga is happening in Houston again. So every game, people post a battle report, and they'll put a couple pictures up, talk about their battle, and then they've got to report to me the final score, any warlords killed, um, and what's the last thing? I'm drawing a blank. Uh, I don't know. Just general
probably just
results.
that? Yeah, typically who won,
Yeah,
what the points were if they killed the warlord.
that's it. Actually, yeah, just warlord kills. So yeah, and it's worked pretty well. We've got a little Facebook chat as well, so we can like communicate quickly in there as well. And So yeah, it's been great. I think it's been really fun just to kind of like dust things off and kind of get the group back together. I'm hopeful that we'll have this summer league, and then in the fall, my goal is to launch a more organized, more structured, kind of more of like the Russell Helms type league with like a map. Shooting for 20 players. We had a lot of players that wanted to play. It was just too short of notice, and so I really think in the fall we'll be hitting. I mean, my goal is 20 people. We'll see. It'll be a lot more work. I got to figure that out with the map and all that.
Cool.
But
yeah. So you
yeah,
kind of mentioned before it'd be more kind of like a campaign type thing. You're saying a map here. It's more organized. You have just kind of roughly how that's gonna work. Grabbing territories, or still, just kind of doing like tournament scoring. Wins and losses, and
yeah, I
contributing
haven't
like
totally
that.
figured it out. First of all, we'll do a vote on which age. We'll narrow it down to an age, because I think
Okay.
everyone will enjoy more with like, hey, we're doing Age of Alexander, or maybe like Antiquity, like maybe Hannibal and Alexander, right?
Yeah.
But
If you do,
let's all be in the same
if
book.
you're doing a campaign, yeah, that would
Yeah, be a
definitely
little
lend to
anachronistic without.
the realism aspect for sure.
Yeah,
And I think just by doing that, you're kind of dialing it in. If it's
right,
crusade,
exactly.
we're in Jerusalem, the Holy Land.
Yes.
Kind of really dials in that theme right away.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I would love to touch base with you towards the end of that one and see how that one goes. Like I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah,
they're
for
a
sure.
little trickier to
Oh yeah.
run, different aspects, but as long as you understand that the point is to just get together and play games,
Exactly. Yeah.
at the end of the day, and
Right.
keep it kind of light, I guess is my advice
Yes.
there. But
That's great. That's great advice.
that sounds cool. Well, thank you for coming on and chatting. It's been great. I have a part of that Facebook group you mentioned, and I love. Yeah, I'm in a few different kind of regional Saga Facebook groups. So
Yeah.
if anybody out there wants to invite me to their whatever hometown Saga Facebook page, please go ahead and do it, because I love just kind of seeing people talk about Saga on my Facebook feed, and I've been kind of following everything as you guys post it, so it's really cool. And yeah, job well done, I'll say.
Thank you. Yeah,
Uh,
and if anyone is in Houston watching this, look us up on Facebook, Houston area Saga players, and get plugged in.
Yeah, that's cool. Are there any, so like Texas Saga player, you're in Houston, are there regular events or something? Like up here, we have Adepticon, and there's different kinds of conventions. Is there anything
Yeah.
down there for you guys on the
I don't
schedule?
know. I think there's some stuff in like San Antonio that I've seen. Nothing that I know of in Houston coming up, but we're gonna change that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I love to see it. Love to see
Yeah.
the Saga organization. So, yeah, you are Josh Smith on Facebook, and I think it's just called Houston Area Saga Players. Is that the name of the group?
Yeah, I believe that's it.
Okay, and I think you said you're Bjorn on Discord as
Yep.
well, so we can message you there if somebody's interested. But yeah, that's cool. So before we go, I just want to thank Terry, Patrick, Sean, Mitchell, Kevin, and Scott, all the patrons over there making these extra videos happen. And definitely post below if you have been part of a league before and have any tips on anything that you want to contribute. Like we're talking, there's more than one way to do things, and there's kind of pros and cons to everything, and just keeping it light, focusing on the games seems to be the way to do it, and it looks like that's what you're doing down there in Houston. So yeah, well done, and I think that's it for now. So thanks again for coming on, Josh, and
Yeah,
yeah,
thanks
we'll
for having me,
keep in
Rodge.
touch. I can't wait to see the results of the final event there, and best of luck with getting that campaign going, and hopefully we can come back and chat about it.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Rodge.
All right, see you later, folks. Bye bye. Saga. If you'd like to see more Saga content, consider joining the Heathen Army over on Patreon, or popping on down to the Saga Thursday Discord server. Links below. Thanks, guys.